Good evening, investors. It's 11:30. I'm actually eating. What else is new? I'm having dinner at 11:30. That's the true life of a real estate investor. It is. But let me jump right in. We did have some bad news today. We'll start with the good, end with the bad. Not too bad. The website that was supposed to be completed today, the seller's website, is, well, not completed. I feel like I'm getting a flashback from the early years when I was dealing with computers. Nonetheless, the coder assures me we will have this completed by tomorrow morning. And I did step through Skype, brought up every page, every single bullet point, what needs to be done, and he understands and says it'll be completed. So fingers crossed on that. The buyer's portion, or I should say the buyer's website, the only portion of the main website is a link to the buyer's site, the squeeze page. I didn't hire a coder yet. I had minimal responses, 3 or 4, which were qualified, but I sent them messages, and I guess maybe it was after hours. So I'd like to get that going. If that's not ready to go, I'm just going to move forward with the mailers. I'm not going to let that hold me up. Worst case scenario, I could put something up there, a quick form, or an email or an under construction, but most likely just an email address if I have to, and I could whip that up pretty quick. It's not ideal, but I don't think it's going to have that big of an effect, especially since I'm marketing to sellers. So that having that said, we're going to go ahead and get these mailers out. I actually went through all the lists that were compiled. There's about 12,000 total that were taken from the tax records. I actually went through most of these because it is a little time consuming. You want to pull out some of the banks and some of the records that maybe were entered in through typo from people at the tax office, whatever it may be, but it's a good idea to screen through. I actually split up into 2 lists. One, I had the companies that were enterprises, corporations, LLCs, etc., and the other ones were just the regular buyer's name. And the thought process behind doing so is that maybe the people that have these larger complexes in their own name, maybe they're not as real estate savvy. And again, this is just a speculation, but not only that, I feel like I may want to tailor the message in the postcard slightly different. Whether I do or I do not, it's not a major issue just because it's only taken, 20 minutes or a half hour to sift through and split them up. So I'm going to try to get these out perhaps the next day or so, Thursday or Friday. I'm eager to get these things going, get the leads come in. So last but not least, I dug up an old lead after I was getting bored of waiting for these sites to complete. I'm very antsy, want to dive in there, get my feet wet. So I dug up an old lead with a seller who didn't seem too motivated at first. Actually, I don't think they're majorly motivated now, which obviously is a key component. However, they are open to creative solutions, seller financing, and they're going to provide me with all the documents tomorrow. The interesting thing is, I think that they might be open to some very creative situations in which could land into a possible deal. And if nothing else, it's good practice. Why not practice with somebody that's willing to deal with you on that level? Some people, if you don't have a track record, or they want a lot of stuff up front, which isn't an issue, but for maybe somebody who's just getting into this and they don't have the contacts to show proof of funds, whatever it may be, there could be a lot of roadblocks. But this guy seems to be very friendly, willing to give all the documents that are necessary to evaluate. So it's good to go through the motions, but I do have some interesting ideas I'd like to present to him. So we'll see if that flies. It's actually a 60-unit building with a penthouse suite and some other amenities in there, some other office types. So we will see where that one goes. That pretty much completes it for today, and we will check in, as always, tomorrow.